Real YouTubist got a mosquito bite on the bottom of their foot. I have never been this angry in my life. Nice. Very nice, Wolf. Okay. So, there I was. Oh, I was eating banana, but I actually didn't finish. I'm sorry. Sorry. I know it's not polite. I cheat on camera, but I just had to, so I really want to finish this banana. So, you are lucky. If you're a viewer of mine, you're very lucky. Because today, I'm going to read to you. Now, many people in this world cannot read. Almost no YouTubers can read. If you're a YouTubist and you can read, you're actually in the top. You're in like a 0.5% of all YouTubists. Very, very, very few. It bit me on the top of my foot too. I got a mosquito bite in the bottom of my foot and the top of my foot. It's like my foot is the sandwich and the mosquito created bread out of the. Never mind. I feel like this has been a very chaotic intro. I'm happy to bring this to you. You're welcome. So, IGN, Ignoramus, Gianimus Network published this article. We saw 30 minutes of Pokemon Sword and Shield's Elay of Armor DLC, okay? And I haven't read it yet, but I heard there's some new information in here. So I figured, you know what, the DLC comes out in, let me check the calendar, I believe 2 days. What day is it? I don't know. 2 days. Probably less than 48 hours for many of us. And so I figured, you know, why don't we talk about, I should download that, by the way. I haven't downloaded it yet. Why don't we talk about what's going on here, you know? Why don't we talk about what they saw in the first 30 minutes. So, thank you to IGN for publishing this information. We first learned about the Pokemon, but this time it doesn't have the apostrophe, or the accent, whatever. It bit me on the side of my foot, too. Oh my god, that's so annoying. I'm so mad! Okay, we first learned about the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass back in January. Since then, I have no idea how long this article is. This video might be 3 minutes long total. How long have we been recording? Okay, 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Since then, we've been served a trickling of information about everything from new items to... Wait, what new items? What new items? Okay, whatever. To new legendary Pokemon. This time it is accented. Finally, at the 11th hour, we've been treated to more than 30 minutes of uninterrupted gameplay from the beginning of the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword. There are two specific things I want to point out from my hands-off demo. First, I noticed that the Pokemon in the first trainer battle were about level 60, the same as the highest level Pokemon in the trainer's party. Nintendo's Demetrius Boggs. Demetrius Boggs, if you're watching this, I really like your name. I think that's one of the coolest names I've ever heard. It's like what you name the main character in your fantasy novel. Doesn't Demetrius Boggs have a Twitter? I want to follow them. I also have no idea. Demetrius, I think, is a... Well, it doesn't matter. I have no idea anything about this name, but I really like it. I really like Demetrius Boggs. Told me that the new Pokemon Expansion Pass areas, trailers, and wild Pokemon scale with your own Pokemon's levels. I really like that. I haven't used my in-game team in a while, but I think that's really, really smart. My in-game team is probably around the 60s, and I was kind of worried that I would be under-leveled for this stuff. And I think it's really interesting. I think Pokemon would be kind of cool as a concept if all battles scaled with your levels, right? Because then it becomes more about battling skill rather than just hands-on. I don't know, grinding skill. I don't know. It'd be very interesting. Specifically, Boggs confirmed the DLC areas would even scale to match a team of level 100 Pokemon. Cool. Really cool. I really like that as a concept. Not only that, but these areas can be accessed as soon as you reach the wild area of Pokemon Sword and Shield, just a few hours into the games. So whether you've just started or have already completed every post-game... for those of you who don't know, I never beat the post-game. I don't even have a Zacian. So whether you've just started or already completed every post-game activity and have a full party of level 100 Pokemon, both parts of the expansion pass, the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra, will match your Pokemon's level. Cool. That's really cool. It does encourage you to have relatively similar levels of Pokemon, obviously. But I like that a lot. I anticipate I'm gonna probably stream the DLC. I anticipate having many problems with it. So yeah, if you wanna see me struggle to beat the DLC, because my in-game team is kind of trash. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, if you want to see me struggle to beat the DLC, you can tune into my stream. But I think this is a really cool concept, and I really like it. From a casual perspective, I really like it. Here's some screenshots. I don't know if any of these are new. Let's just quickly look through them. Ooh, it's a beautiful screenshot that drew on. I think these are all kind of old. Yeah, I think these are things they already showed in the trailer. I doubt they're allowed to show anything else. Yeah, these all look like trailer stuff. Okay, cool. We don't know what with burning jealousy. Actually, just whatever. We already, as of now, we're unsure whether the DLC areas will continue to scale with your level, or if the areas will become locked to the level your Pokemon were when you first visit. But we'll update this as soon as we hear back from the Pokemon Company. That's a good question. Like, there are certain logistical challenges that you face when you do something like this. Right? Because eventually, I mean, part of Pokemon, a lot of the ways that people overcome challenging fights is that they scale their level. They over level, right? I mean, we watched several attempts, or several successful challenges of people. Oh, do you like my shirt? It's One Punch Man. He's in the pocket. This was a gift. This was a birthday gift, I think. Anyway, one of the ways that people beat challenging fights is by over leveling, and if you remove that option, maybe people will have a harder time, right? So it would make sense to definitely lock them to the first time you encounter them and just set them there. However, it would also be cool from a challenge perspective, because a lot of people complain that Pokemon is too easy. I'm inclined to agree. You could definitely, like, if I made Pokemon, if they were like, Wolfe Glick, the series is in trouble. You're the only one who can save it. And like, the first thing I would do is I'd be like, all right, first of all, everything's a double battle. Second of all, this thing's gonna be hard. The player's gonna have to work. Like, yeah, this is gonna be very hard. I think a Pokemon game would be cool is like if there was an area where everyone had legendary Pokemon except for you. That's what I would do. And everyone would have Dark Void Smeargle. Okay. Where was I? But we will update this to the Pokemon Company. Regardless, this is great news. Anyone will be able to enjoy the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass at an appropriate level, regardless of how high or low level their Pokemon are. Though I can't comment on how difficult or easy this content will be. Okay. That's cool, though. Yeah, like, if you know, like, let's say you bought Pokemon late because you were really hyped with the DLC, you don't have to beat the whole game to play the DLC. I think that's sick. We already knew the Isle of Armor would at least include an additional wild area, but this demo confirmed that the entirety of the island is basically one big, massive wild area, with many more diverse terrains than on the mainland. That's sick. I saw coastal beaches, swampy marshes, lush forests, gloomy caves. I'm glad that each location has an adjective. I'm not good at parts of speech. I hope these are adjectives. They couldn't just say I saw beaches, marshes, forests, and caves. They had to be coastal beaches, swampy marshes, lush forests, gloomy caves, and even deserts. Oh, thank goodness deserts doesn't have dry deserts. Thank goodness we don't have an adjectives. Unless even is the adjective. Even deserts. Wait a second. Is it even deserts as in like and even, or is it and even desert, or is it and even deserts, like very flat, like the terrain is even? Oh, I've been baited during my short tour. At many intervals during the story, and upon entering new areas, the camera swept over each spot, creating a beautiful panoramic effect that highlighted the topography of the island. You're just showing off. Just because you can write well, you're showing off now. It also seems as though all of these areas can be explored as soon as you get to the island, without needing to progress the story, which leaves the pacing in the player's hands. I like that a lot. I really like that. Overall, each of these micro areas seem to be a little more full with environmental touches like logs or trees. Trees in my Pokemon game. How dare they put trees? I also saw Pokemon interact with their surroundings in ways I hadn't before. For example, I saw a Pokemon on a tree branch in the forest. Though Nintendo couldn't confirm how we could interact with this Pokemon, I assume it could be lured down from the tree by whistling at it, like you would lure a flying Pokemon down from the sky in the base Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you, I never figured out how to get the Pokemon down from the sky. I didn't know you had to whistle. I also saw a huge, and I mean massive, Wailord in the water from the beach. I'm not sure whether this was a 2-scale representation of an overworld Pokemon, or if it was part of the story, or had some other purpose. Most likely it was just a wild Pokemon in the overworld. I know that's not that surprising, but seeing a giant Pokemon in the water brought me joy in that moment. That's cool. Overall, I saw a large variety pack on this island, and I'm happy to report that a few of my personal favorites returned. Yes, they're bringing them back, finally. I did ask if the large inclusion of old Pokemon previously unavailable in Pokemon Sword and Shield was in response to player feedback. But the Pokemon Company's Elvin G, the Pokemon Company only hires people with sick names. Therefore, I have to be hired. Please, Mr. Pikachu, please. YouTube's not working. Please hire me. Pokemon Company's Elvin G said that the Isle of Armor expansion was already being developed before Pokemon Sword and Shield were released, so it seems as though it was always the plan, though he couldn't be certain. So you're telling me I had to read thousands hundreds, 1 million comments of people spamming bring back national decks. And they had zero effect. For those of you who don't know, I mean, we may as well talk about it now. The reason why I hate the bring back national decks movement is because, first of all, I have no issue with people, like, wanting their favorite Pokemon back in the game. But the way the movement... I'm gonna get in so much trouble for this. The way the movement handled it, I thought was super disrespectful. For example, one time Junichi Masuda posted, like, congratulating people on their wedding. Like, they had some Pokemon-themed things, and people were in the replies just spamming, bring back national decks! I have no issue if you want the national decks in the game, but stuff like that is super disrespectful. And my personal hatred of the movement, I always thought it was annoying. I'm gonna be completely honest, I always thought it was annoying. However, I really, really grew to loathe the movement because I'm selfish. I won nationals last year. I'm the current US North American International Champion. And I was, like, really happy about it. Like, I built a really cool team with a friend. And I was really proud of the accomplishment. And Pokemon tweeted out that I'd won the tournament and included, like, some gifts or whatever. And all the replies were just bring back national decks. Like, it was a VGC related post. It had nothing to do with Sword and Shield, had nothing to do with anything. And it was all the replies. Anyway, I thought that was really disrespectful. So that's like, yeah. I mean, I have no issue with the idea of wanting your favorite Pokemon in the game. But yeah, like, I thought that was really, really, the way the movement operated was just very childish and immature in my opinion. Like. And to think it didn't even have any effect. There are people whose entire accounts are dedicated to just harassing the Pokemon Company. By the way, they harassed, like, Pokemon's Twitter account. Pokemon's Twitter account does not make the video games. I don't know. People are gonna be so mad about that, but that's my opinion. I'm not hiding it from you guys. I don't like the Bring Back National Decks movement. I think the way it was handled was extremely immature. If you don't like the games, go play Teamfight Tactics. That's what I've been doing. Just kidding. I like the games, but I have been playing Teamfight Tactics. Please sponsor me, Mr. Teamfight. Mort, please. I'm a big fan. Please. I played. So this is. I know. You're gonna be mad in the comments. It's fine. I played a game with Mort, the creator of Teamfight Tactics, which is the game I've been spending most of my time playing right now, and I got 8th. Me 8th. Anyway, let's continue. Whatever. So okay. So National Dex had no effect. It was not very effective. National Dex is normal type, bring back National Dex is Ghost type, bring back National Dex is normal type. Of course, there was more to the demo than just a tour of the island and some myriad Pokemon. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. I also got to see the first 30 minutes of the story, which included introductions to Clara and Sword, or Avery and Shield, Mustard, a legendary Pokemon trainer who once trained Leon and will now train you, and other NPCs that call the Master Dojo on the Isle of Armor their home. Because this demo was for Pokemon Sword, the Poison-type Pokemon trainer and our rival for this expansion, Clara, greeted us upon arrival. She quickly outed herself as a self-interested mean girl type, but her antics were nevertheless amusing. After defeating her in a battle, she instructs you to not approach the dojo. However, this is of course where you must go to progress the story. Once inside the dojo, after a quick battle, you're presented with a choice in the introduction of a move tutor that will accept Armorite ore as a payment. Okay, move tutor, here we go. Then Mustard explains that the dojo's apprentices must complete 3 trials in order to earn the dojo's sacred armor. One of the challenges includes collecting Max Mushrooms, which are used to create the previously revealed Max Soup, which unlocks the ability for Pokemon Gigantamax. But I only saw a single different trial, one I can't reveal just yet. It reminded me of the minigames you might encounter as part of the Pokemon Sun and Moon's Island Challenge, except perhaps less involved. Now, I never really liked the minigames here. I think they were kind of stupid, so the fact that they're less involved is not super thrilling to me. It's worth mentioning that I saw a mysterious Pokemon looking over the main character from the top of the dojo. Because of previous promotional materials for the DLC, we know that this is Kubfu, a fighting-type legendary Pokemon that evolves into Urshifu. We know this Pokemon is an integral part of the story of the Isle of Armor DLC, and its evolution is dependent on which of the Towers of Two Fists you choose to face, the Tower of Darkness or the Tower of Waters. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, my instinct says that you're going to want the Water-type one. If you're a casual fan, I'm going for the Water-type one. I don't care. I'm doing the Water-type one. I saw one of these pagoda-like towers on the coast of the island, but that's as much of the story that I saw. That's as much of the story that I saw and can reveal now. Oh, except the customizable bikes. Please give us a good bike, for goodness sake. We've had such a bad bike this game. I hate when they go backward. That's my least favorite thing about Pokemon, is sometimes they just regress. Sometimes they're like, okay, you know how the bike was great? And everyone's like, yep. And they're like, okay, what if we made it bad? And we're like, wait, what? And they're like, okay, bike bad now. Part of the bike was upgraded. The fact you can go in the water was cool. but a lot of the bike was not upgraded and was actually backwards. I didn't see the menus for this, and Nintendo and the Pokemon Company couldn't give me any additional information, but I saw 2 different bikes with different trails, similar to the trails you unlock for your cars in Rocket League. Okay. I loved exploring the wild area and catching a wide variety of new Pokemon and Pokemon Sword and Shield. In fact, it was one of my favorite new features. Considering that the Isle of Armor DLC seems right up my alley, though I do hope the story is robust on its own and doesn't rely on Pokemon catching as a way to artificially pad its playtime too much. Then again, who doesn't like catching Pokemon in new places? That's a little ominous in my opinion. If you're saying my favorite new feature was catching the Pokemon, that's not a new feature. It's the feature we already had. Like, listen, don't get me wrong, I'm also excited, right? I'm excited for returning Pokemon as well. That's probably, frankly, it's the thing I'm the most excited for. However, I really hope this, like they say, I hope that it stands on its own. I hope the DLC can stand on its own. And based on that, I mean, they only played half an hour, right? It depends, did they play half an hour into an 8-hour DLC, or did they play half an hour into a 1-hour DLC, right? The thing is, they can't reveal, like, I don't think they can reveal really anything that Nintendo didn't already, Mr. Pikachu didn't already reveal. So, yeah, not a ton of new information here, but the level scaling is super cool. My National Dex rant probably will get me in trouble sometime, probably when I publish this. But overall, I thought it was a cool review. It's cool to get some perspective. It seems like this person enjoyed it. 30 minutes isn't a ton of time. I'm apprehensive. I really hope this is good. I really hope so, but I'm not guaranteeing it, okay? I have hope. But I do have hope. I do think it's very probable that it will be good. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching. I really hope you don't unsubscribe. And I'll see you next time. Eat banana. Goodbye.